The annals of the Sword God Valley will mark this day with crimson ink. Even now, the air still trembles with the echoes of shattering bones and the roar of divine might. Chu Feng, with eyes alight with unyielding purpose, charges through the valley's heart, leaving behind a path where loyalty and fear collide. Beside him, Ling's exquisite chariot descends like a comet, its golden ripples annihilating all who dare stand in their way. And Zhang Tianyi, the wielder of the divine wood sword, meets the wrath of the valley's old ancestor in a clash that bends both heaven and earth. As whispers of vengeance and fury swirl through the battlefield, one cannot help but ask, can anyone survive the storm about to break? Brace yourselves for the unfolding carnage in martial God Asura chapter 449, chapter 450. The wind howled through the peaks of Sword God Valley, carrying with it the whispers of a storm long foretold, and then, as if the heavens themselves had parted, a figure appeared, Chu Feng. The murmurs of anticipation turned to gasps of disbelief. He actually came. The disciples trembled, and even the elders whose strength had once been the pride of the valley felt a chill crawl up their spines. Chu Feng's name had become a shadow that haunted every heart. Countless souls had already fallen beneath his might. Today, his presence did not bring hope, it promised calamity. From the center of the valley, a voice emerged, low yet imbued with the gravity of centuries. The old ancestor of Sword God Valley spoke, each word heavy with authority and power. Chu Feng, Zhang Tianyi, your hands are stained with countless sins, countless lives extinguished. Do you comprehend the weight of your crimes? The disciples stiffened, feeling the aura of the old ancestor ripple across the valley like a tidal wave. They knew without doubt that this ancient warrior could obliterate the intruders with ease. Meanwhile, those who had hoped for a clash of equals frowned. The thrill of battle was now tinged with dread. The scales of fate had already tipped against Chu Feng and his companions. Chu Feng's eyes burned like twin suns. You know why I have come. You know the wrongs that have been done and the justice that must be served. I have no intention of trading words today. My advice is simple. Leave this place. Those unwilling to die still have a chance to survive. Those who stay will find mercy is a stranger to me. A ripple of tension coursed through the valley. The old ancestor's lips curved in a calm, almost amused smile. Bold words, as expected of the one they call arrogant. But do not mistake your audacity for power. This place shall become your tomb. His gaze then shifted to Ling, poised beside Chu Feng. Lady Ling, you are no enemy of Sword God Valley. Depart, and no harm shall come to you. Refuse, and you shall bear the consequences. Even the mighty old ancestor could not deny the shadow of fear in his heart. Ling's lineage was formidable. Her grandfather, Xuanyuan, had forged a legacy few dared challenge, and now she was the spearhead alongside Chu Feng, a silent storm in human form. I am Chu Feng's fiancée, Ling declared, her voice firm as a blade. His enemies are mine. Your insults, your oppression of his family, cannot go unchallenged. Today, Sword God Valley shall feel our wrath. Her eyes glimmered with feral resolve. In the blink of an eye, the exquisite chariot, a vessel of elite armament, plummeted from the sky. The descent was sudden, terrifying, and over a dozen disciples were crushed beneath its weight before they could react. Golden ripples, fierce and brilliant, radiated outward, engulfing over 1,000 disciples. The screams of agony echoed through the valley, bodies shattered in a brutal testament to the chariot's might. The former head of the valley, watching his disciples fall, felt his face drain of color. Fury propelled him into the air. His attack aimed at Chu Feng, Ling, and Zhang Tianyi. The old ancestor unleashed the might of the 6th level of the heaven realm. The aura he exuded warped the heavens themselves, pressing down like the weight of mountains. Yet even as chaos reigned, Ling's exquisite chariot did not falter, continuing its merciless slaughter. Those unaligned with the valley fled, hearts pounding in terror at the unstoppable onslaught. Madness, spat Tianyi, stepping forward, eyes cold. He drew the divine wood sword, and in a sweep, 10,000 symbols coalesced into a blade of searing light, slicing through the oppressive aura of the old ancestor. He leaped forward, his body aglow with floating light and the unique aura of his elite armament, hurtling toward the ancient warrior with lethal intent. The old ancestor's eyes narrowed. You, a mere 3rd-level heaven realm youth, dare to defy us? Today, all three of you shall perish." A colossal silver sword materialized in his grasp, its size monstrous, yet wielded with effortless precision. Each swing birthed tens of thousands of blinding sword blurs, a dance of destruction clashing against Zhang Tianyi's radiant blade. "Zhang Tianyi, you slew my son! Hand over your life!" The former head of Sword God Valley's voice erupted, carrying the fury of loss and vengeance. With the fifth level of Heaven Realm power coursing through him, he charged, bloodlust blazing, toward the epicenter of battle. But a barrier of elegance and lethal intent stopped him. Ling herself. Purple aura enveloped her form, divine power radiating from every fiber of her being. Her smile remained, sweet yet cruel, eyes gleaming with unstoppable killing intent. "They are settled," she said softly. "Do not disturb this moment." A wail of anguish and terror shattered the air. Chu Feng had already descended to the valley's heart, where the remnants of his family and the Azure Dragon School lay in desecrated silence. With merciless resolve, he tore through the disciples who dared stand in his path. Each strike, each step, a storm of vengeance and divine wrath. Sword God Valley, once proud and unshakable, trembled beneath the tide of retribution, its fate sealed by the convergence of unstoppable force and unyielding fury. The great battle had begun, and there was no turning back. The moment had arrived when legends would be forged in blood and steel. The air itself seemed to tremble, as if aware of the storm about to break. Chu Feng's aura surged, crackling with borrowed power, merging his own lightning with the formidable might of Eggy. Though his body had only reached the sixth level of the profound realm, the combined energies elevated him to a force that rivaled the very threshold of the heaven realm. Every breath he drew was thick with electricity, every movement a harbinger of devastation. Clad in the dark gleam of the Asura ghost axe, an elite armament bound to recognize its master, Chu Feng's presence alone shattered the calm of the Sword God Valley. Those who had once been confident, disciples, elders, even those who had ascended to the fourth level of the heaven realm, found themselves helpless before his onslaught. The valley became a river of carnage, the air thick with the scent of fear and steel, as if a god of slaughter had descended upon the land. And then he saw it. The bones of his family, desecrated and displayed above a pool of filth. A roaring tempest of fury ignited in his chest, yet his mind remained clear, his focus unyielding. The path of vengeance led straight to the heart of the Sword God Valley. Every strike he made was precise, every movement calculated. The massacre was controlled, purposeful. He would reclaim what was his. Impossible, this speed. The valley head's eyes widened in disbelief as Chu Feng vanished across the battlefield. Arriving at the very center in a heartbeat, the thought of these trespassers taking the bones and fleeing ignited panic within him. He spun midair, preparing to intercept the unstoppable youth. But fate had already tilted the scales. Ling, her aura a swirling torrent of purple, surged like a wild beast, tearing at the valley head with relentless force. Shock and dread painted his features. How could a girl, barely touching the first level of the heaven realm, wield such overwhelming might? The realization of her deadly potential struck like lightning. If she persisted, the valley head would be undone. "Lord Father, protect me." His cries were desperate, echoing across the battlefield as he unleashed his full power, his most formidable techniques flaring in a futile attempt to fend her off. The old ancestor of the Sword God Valley, witnessing the chaos, stiffened in horror. His gaze fell upon Zhang Tianyi, engulfed in blue flames, his aura now surpassing even the expectations of those who had once measured his power. "Open the Sword God formation or face death," Zhang Tianyi roared, divine wood sword slicing through the air with brutal precision. The young man, once a mere equal to the old ancestor, now dominated the duel, his attacks a symphony of destruction. The old ancestor's hands clenched. Monsters, all three of them, must be monsters in human form. He could not deny the truth before his eyes. Chu Feng, Ling, Zhang Tianyi, these were not ordinary cultivators. Their power defied logic, surpassed expectation, and left even seasoned veterans reeling. The spectators, their breaths caught in their throats, witnessed a scene that shattered all preconceived notions of strength. The old ancestor and the valley head, suppressed by youth. How can this be? Whispers of disbelief rippled through the crowd. The sheer spectacle, the defiance of natural order, made the journey to Sword God Valley suddenly feel worth every risk. Here, legends were being carved into the stones of history itself. Booms erupted, cries pierced the air, and the very ground seemed to shudder under the force of the young warrior's fury. Chu Feng, like a god of death incarnate, carved through disciples and elders alike. Structures collapsed beneath his relentless strikes, and with each swing, multiple lives were extinguished. He moved with deadly precision, collecting the bones of the Azure Dragon School's elders and his family, placing them into his cosmos sack, all while maintaining an unstoppable onslaught. Even the hardened elders could not help but shiver in fear. "This is no ordinary killing. This is the work of a reincarnated god of slaughter," they muttered. The blood-soaked rampage of a youth revealed a ruthlessness few could comprehend, a power that seemed to laugh at the boundaries of mortal cultivation. Desperation finally overtook the old ancestor. "Quick, open the Sword God formation!" The command rang like a bell of doom across the valley. Light erupted, and an aura of unimaginable force began to stir, a presence awakening, ancient and primal. Chu Feng, ever alert, sensed the shift. He leapt skyward, joining Ling, his senses tingling with the subtle danger that emanated from the formation. This was no mere power boost for the valley's disciples. Something alive, something terrifying was being unleashed. Even without knowing its true nature, Chu Feng could feel the immense threat, a presence capable of shaking the foundations of the Sword God Valley itself. The stage was set. A legendary confrontation, bound by fate, awaited in the heart of the valley.